Hey, what's happening, everyone? This is Torn Ross Cemetery out here enjoying a beautiful day in the park. Something was brought to my attention today, and something that I have experienced personally in my life with dealing with the Latino or Hispanic population, certain members of that population, as well as Africans born on the continent of Africa. This happened to a friend of mine. It was in relation to African Americans being slaves, and I've heard this before, so I'm going to address this to those people from those communities that made these remarks about African Americans experienced the enslavement that they did. Okay, I'm gonna start with those Mongoloid Indians, because that's what they are. They're scientifically called Mongoloid Indians, or you would call them Native Americans who live south of Texas. That would be Mexico, Mesoamerica, aka Central America, and South America. Now, these areas were conquered by the Spanish people, and these people always make remarks about African Americans being slaves. So let's walk this back. Okay, as I said, those areas, Mexico, Mesoamerica, aka Central America, and South America, were conquered by the Spaniards and the Portuguese. So let's look at that here. Let me take a guess what happened when these areas were conquered to the indigenous people there. The people call themselves indigenous. That's the American Indians, or wherever you want to call them, Mexico. It's the Hispanic community, which is Cuban. I'm talking about those in the islands too. The Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Mexico, South America. Those people live in those areas who are Mongoloid Indians. So this area is conquered. So let me think about this for a minute. So when the Spanish and the Portuguese conquered that area, to you have to say this. What did they do? Did they, let me guess. Did they make you a supervisor of their country? No. Wait a minute. No. Maybe perhaps they made you a CEO of the company. No, you were slaves. You were slaves just like African Americans were slaves. So don't come at me with this bullshit, or anybody of African American descent or of that lineage with the shit that we were slaves and you weren't slaves. When the Spanish and the Portuguese went through Mexico, Central America, and South America, you were all made slaves. Slaves just like African Americans. Now, let me talk about our African brothers. I've heard this from our own people. And yes, I said our own people because you are of African descent, just like we are, no matter where we are at in the world. So the Africans have made this similar remarks. Okay, let me think about that here too now. Colonization. That's an interesting word. Oh, colonization. That's a dignified word for slavery. You were made slaves in your own damn country, just like they were in Mexico, Central America, and South America. So don't come at us African Americans over here talking about you were slaves and we were not. If you are colonized, you were a slave. If you were colonized, you were a slave just like African Americans. So I'm going to say this to African Americans. Don't let any of them groups come at you with this bullshit like y'all were slaves and we weren't. Bullshit. All of you were slaves just like us. I'm talking about the Caribbeans, the islands, West Indies, all of that crap down there, you were all slaves. So this is another truth come from Torn Cemetery. Hit me up on Facebook. You know my line is always, I will confirm. And who else do I want to touch base with here before I get off this? Oh, the Native Americans up here in North America. I've heard similar remarks from them too. So you're on reservations now. Reservations on what you call your own land. Sounds like a concentration camp to me. So they give you rights on your concentration camps. That's like the prison guards giving those brothers in cell block 8 card rights or gambling rights or keep your lights on at night rights to the prisoners. You're still prisoners in a penitentiary. So America has become your penitentiary. So you are no better than us. In fact, you turned on us for the white man when they first came over here. So once again, if you are a person melanated of color, in the past 2,000 years, if you have interacted with Europeans, yes, you were slaves, just like African Americans. This is Torn Ross Cemetery. We giving you the real truth. As always, my reality is real, and so's yours.